Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police and Fire Departments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sergeant Brian Hubbard. The era of black and white squad cars is coming to a close. The Edina Police Department is rolling out its new design onto city streets. The new all-black vehicles are the result of Ford Motor Company keeping its costs down by using one color of paint on the production line. In an effort to retain the emblematic black and white vehicle, the department experimented with vinyl overlays for a time, but found the overlays were easily damaged. A committee of senior officers worked with the local company, the Graphics Shop, to develop other design possibilities that would uniquely identify Edina's fleet from neighboring suburbs.
My biggest thing was you have a big event with law enforcement, all the squads show up, you never knew what agencies were there. Was it Edina, was it Richfield, was it Bloomington? So as a group or as an administrator, we started talking about with the patrol officers, let's make something that's unique to our city like we used to have. When we show up, they know it's Edina right away.
The new squad graphics come a year and a half after a major upgrade to the fleet in which the department purchased utility vehicles after the Crown Victoria was discontinued by Ford. Most of us understand that a phone call from a stranger soliciting money is likely that of a con artist in search of a victim. But how might a caller respond if he thought his grandchild was in immediate danger and could resolve the issue quickly by wiring money? There are a myriad of phone and mail scams that threaten to prey upon the vulnerable, and almost all of them employ both an emotional appeal and a request for money. Let's go to the Edina Police Department where Fire Captain Ryan Quinn is with Detective Eric Amundsen to discuss strategies to avoid becoming a victim.
Thanks, Brian. We're here today at the Edina Police Station. I'm here with Detective Eric Amundsen. How are you doing today?
Excellent. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about scams. Phone scams, internet scams, how they're affecting our community and particularly some vulnerable adults. Why don't we talk about some telephone scams?
Okay. First of all, fraud scams have been around forever. They've changed with the advent of telephone and now with the proliferation of the internet. That's basically a force multiplier for the fraudster to contact more people more often, and the more people they contact, the more likely they are to find a victim.
Now, when they're calling these people and they're asking for money, how do you know if it's true?
Well, any fraud scam tries to get you personally involved. Sometimes it's by an implied threat, like the IRS scam where they say that you owe taxes. Sometimes it's to make you think that you need to do something quickly to help a family member, like a grandson who's been in jail. And what they do is they try to get you emotionally involved, and once you are, you stop thinking.
So they get this phone call, they're becoming emotionally involved. What's the first thing that they should do to slow it down, to verify what's going on?
Being emotionally involved is the problem. So you need to calm yourself down, slow down what you're doing, and think about it. While you're on the phone, you should ask for a callback number or a contact place to contact. After you're done, you can call the local police, you can call your friends, you can call your relatives. You can check on the internet and see if that type of scenario is something that's a common fraud scheme.
Maybe take down as much information, write down as much information as you can get from the calling party.
Right, and most of the time they will not want to give you a callback number. They will not want you to call them back. They want you to stay on the phone and complete the transaction, as it were. They'll want you to send them money, or at least commit to sending them money before they release the phone call with you.
Now, how do you know if you have been the victim of a scam?
It depends on what type of scam it is. There are some where, even like an internet scam where you're selling something legitimately, someone will call up and say, I'll buy that, but I want to send you a check and it's more than the amount that you asked for. And in that scam, what they simply do is they take a check from a valid account that's not theirs, and they counterfeit it using that account information. They send it to you, and your bank will accept that because it is what they consider a valid check based on the account number and the availability of funds. You deposit it into your account, you keep your share, and you pass on their share. So you send your money to them. And the problem is 30, 60, or 90 days later, your bank will come to you and say, that check was no good. You owe us that money.
So is there a time limit that you can recoup any of this money, or is it generally once it's gone, it's gone?
Well, it's not necessarily a time limit. It's more of a jurisdictional thing. And what you have to understand is that most of these frauds are perpetrated outside of our borders, not our state borders, but the United States itself. They're coming from Nigeria, they're coming from Russia, they're coming from Canada. So once it's done, it's done. If you are sending money in a wire, it's gone. If you're sending it in a check, you have a possibility of retrieving it, but once it's cashed and transacted, it's gone.
We all need to stay vigilant, double check, verify, and contact the Edina Police Department if they feel that they're a victim.
Well, there are other things you can do also, and that is one, what I do, and that's I keep aware of the scams. There's plenty of sites you can look up that'll tell you what scams are currently being perpetrated and how they work. And then if you have somebody in your life that you think could be vulnerable, you can share that with them.
That's great advice. Thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you.
Brian, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Ryan. After an unseasonably warm autumn, the prospect of heavy and repeated snowfall seems like a distant possibility. But when it comes to cold temps and snowstorms, Minnesota never fails to deliver. With winter on the horizon, residents are reminded that seasonal parking restrictions go into effect November 1st. Keep your vehicles off the street overnight and remove your car from the street after a snowfall of 1.5 inches or more. Plow trucks depend upon resident cooperation to keep roadways free and clear all winter long. On behalf of my co-host, Fire Captain Ryan Quinn, and the City of Edina's Public Safety Team, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge. Until next time, stay safe.